Okay, so I showed in a recent video a couple of gramophones that I bought and also a couple of boxes of records. Now you may remember the gramophones were stupidly cheap, they were £2 each. The record boxes, there were two of them, they were £4 each, so in total that cost me £12. So I've got one of the boxes under the camera here, and I'm going to just go through them. Now there were more records that dealer had, but these two boxes look the most interesting. So I'm going to kind of start maybe at the back here. Hopefully you can see quite a nice. Oops, that didn't work very well, did it? It dropped down a bit. No harm done, I think. Is this my bag or is this a bag? I've no idea what's in here actually. Broadway Classics, Wimbledon. So that's a record bag. I don't know when that dates from. Maybe we'll stick that there. Not one of my records. I've certainly never been to that shop. That shop probably doesn't even exist anymore. 01. That's an old, not a really old, but an old-fashioned London telephone number. So that dates back into the sort of like late 20th century. So what do we got? So first record out. This is rather nice. Now I didn't look at these records, not in any great detail. Anyway, I mean, this is cracked, admittedly. I've just seen a whopping big crack in there, which is not great. But this is a test print. This is an Edison Bell Limited test print. 28th of August 1930, that one is. Get that on camera shot there. So I did notice while the dealer and the dealer's friend was showing me what was in the boxes, they were just pulling out some records, and I did notice there was a test print record, at least one. In fact, I have a feeling there was at least one in each box. So this is, I'd say it's quite late actually for Edison Bell. 28th of August 1930, that's what it's saying. Yeah, it's a real shame that's cracked, but there we go. Still nice to have. What else have we got in here? Now this is a somewhat uninteresting, for me certainly, Mantovani and his orchestra Decca, but it's broken, so that can go on my broken stack. We'll get that in shot. This is a little Eclipse. That's a Freckle Face, You're Beautiful. It's a Foxtrot. And if we flip it over on the other side, we have After a While, Palais Royal Dance Band, I think that is. So a bit of a mixture actually. What's that? That's a Special K, piece of cardboard. Looks like it's been in a binder. That doesn't look too old, not with this sort of nutritional information at the top there. Hopefully that's coming out on camera. I've got several cameras running, not quite my usual set, but what I had that was charged and I had memory cards in. What else have we got here? This one is in a hidden corner, Waltz, Jack Hilton and his band. Sorry, Jack Hilton and his orchestra. So that's 1930s, I think. And also Beautiful, which is another Foxtrot there. So yeah, quite nice to have. This is another Edison Bell. Read it on that camera? Yeah, comes out on that camera too. Edison Bell test. Recording. I mean, that could be Carmen by Scots Guards, I think that is. 28th of August 1930, again really quite late. I do have a much earlier Edison test pressing, but even so, still quite nice to have. yeah. So when you see one of these records, you kind of hope you're going to see a few more. And as I say, I'm pretty sure there was at least one of these in each box. And as I say, I didn't go through them at the time. I pulled one record out of one box, and as I say, the dealer's friend pulled a couple of records out of another box, one of which was one of these test prints. So yeah, that was quite encouraging. So we got on the other side, yeah, more of the same. Now, just because they're test pressings doesn't mean that they haven't been played to death. I mean, somebody obviously got these for free at some point. If they liked them, they would have played them. But they will be pressings made from, you know, very fresh sort of masters or very fresh pressing plates. So they have the potential to be really quite good. What else have we got in here? This is a fairly standard looking Columbia, Russian Lullaby, Harold Leonard. The light in the camera shot again, reflection. These records do reflect. Harold Leonard and his Waldorf Astoria Orchestra with vocal chorus. That's a waltz. And on the other side, we have a foxtrot, and that's a usual pairing. It's quite often to get a waltz on one side and a foxtrot on another. Columbia, 78 speed. I mean, I think that's 1930s. I think that's after Columbia and H&V joined together as part of EMI. Right, let's spread these out a little bit. What else? Here's a Rex. This is Jay Wilbur and his band. That's quite nice. That's the B. That's Foxtrot with vocal chorus. And on this side here, We Were So Young, also Jay Wilbur and his band. So yeah, that's quite nice. Probably got, I mean, I may have that one, to be honest. I've got so many of these. It's one of the reasons I want to go through them now, actually, is I'll go through these because I just don't want them kicking around in the workshop. So that's another test pressing. So I've done quite well with test pressing. So this is also Scots Guards. 28th of August 1930. Again, yeah, Scots Guards. There's some writing there. That's looks like the lettering probably in the dead wax. I mean, I'll probably have a closer look at these at some point, but not just at the moment. So there we go. Another test print from Edison Bell Limited. Yeah, rather nice. I do like Edison Bell. I've collected quite a lot of their records. So what have we got here? So this is a Columbia. This again. Oh, this is Speed 80. Mysterious Eyes, Tango Foxtrot, the Denzer Dance Band, who apparently weren't really a band. It was just a name they put on records from a variety of bands. It was just a sort of house band name, but it could be one of several bands apparently. So hopefully that's coming out on camera shot okay. We'll flip that over. Oh, That's Certain Party. Oh, this is Ted Lewis and his band. Now, this one okay? I mean, That's Certain Party, that's a good track. Is the record actually any good? Looks like it probably is. 78s can be real heartbreakers. You find a really nice one and then you find it's broken. So, but that one's okay. Interesting, I'd only just noticed just there, it says 12th of April 1947. I don't know what that means. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. I don't think that's when that record is from. I think that record is a 1930s record, especially, or even maybe slightly earlier, because it says speed 80, and Columbia did drop the speed of 80 and they went to the speed of 78. I believe about the time that they joined with H&V as part of EMI, but I may be wrong in that respect. But certainly a Columbia which is marked speed 80 is, as far as I'm concerned, earlier than a Columbia marked speed 78. Okay. Not sure how many of these there are. Leslie Holmes, accompanied by Jay Wilbur and his band. Who's Been Polishing the Sun? That's from the film The Camels Are Coming. And on the other side, I Like the Way You Say Goodnight. Okay, well, what else have we got? One in the sleeve. This is another Columbia. Let's just get it in a camera shot first. Live, Laugh and Love, Viennese Waltz, Jack Payne and his BBC Dance Orchestra. And on the other side, Just Once for All Foxtrot. And somebody's very conveniently put, play this side, Foxtrot. I must admit, I do prefer the Foxtrots. To the waltzes. So that again, I think that's 1930s. The Rex that I mentioned just a moment ago, I think these are 1930s too. So it looks like a very much a 1930s sort of pile of records. Next one out is a Decca, sort of on the border. Edmundo Ross and his orchestra. That's got quite a high number. That could be a little bit later. I'm not really sure with Decca's. Play. But you know, it's a nice, you know, it's a nice clean record. Yeah. Don't know if I'll keep it or not. But until I go through these, I don't really know what I'm going to keep. And I want to go through them on camera because I'm genuinely showing these off for the first time. I haven't been through these. I do not know what's in here. So this, quite a nice sleeve. Cramatone Needles. It's advertising there. The House of Cramatone, probably the House of Kramer, I would say. As a stamp there, WF Barnwell, 33 Elborough Street, London. No, not London. South Fields, SW18. So that, yeah, London. What's we got? 4A Acre Lane, Brixton, London, SW2, and that there is SW18. So it's different districts or different bits of London. And then we've got here his Master's Voice. So every model of his Master's Voice, Columbia, Itonia, Pathé, Cliftophone and Decca, always in stock. And it's got a sewn sleeve, so the sleeve I think is 20s, I think, based on that. And I think also, yeah, I think it's 20s. The actual record, of course, could be some other date entirely. This easily could be later. Let's just let's get it round. So this is Saloon Bar Rag, Harry Roy and his band. Yeah, that's quite nice. And After You Get What You Want. So yeah, so some interesting records coming out of this box. I mean, if you like what you're seeing, then please do give me a like so that I know and that YouTube knows too. So thank you. Right, let's get on. Next record out the box. This is a his master's voice with a rather dull label. This is Scottish Command Tattoo Section. I think it's made in England. Sometimes records which don't look that interesting turn out to be made in other countries other than England, where obviously most of his master's voice records were made. And they're interesting just for that purpose. But yeah, I mean, actually, Scottish Command Tattoo Section. That's probably quite a useful record. Sort of thing I can play. Probably sound quite good. I mean, somebody's written here Smith. I think it's Smith, 5 shillings. So possibly this record was sold at one point for 5 shillings. This is March Past of the Highland Regiments. So yeah, 40s maybe, 30s, 40s, something like that. 1930s, 1940s. I think something like that. Not earlier, I wouldn't say. Right. What else have we got? Well, this one here. This is a nice shiny record. This is an Embassy, Hernando's Hideaway, Billy Lee with the 3 Oscars. Excuse me. This, I think, was a record that was sold by Woolworths, the store Woolworths in Britain or in the UK. And these tended to be covers of popular songs by less well-known artists, as indeed did many of the cheaper records going back to the 20s and the 30s as well. So Stars Shine in Your Eyes, also Benny Lee. I say also, yes, both sides Benny Lee. Not that interesting to me, but there we go. Columbia sleeve, HMV record off Vida Sane, My Dear, Derek Dixon and Brown, tenor in English with piano. Slightly older record than the one I've just shown. Somebody Loves You, by the same person. Yeah, not so interesting. Right, Highways Are Happy Ways, Ted Weems and his orchestra with vocal refrain. Yeah, might be okay. It Was Only a Gun Shower, whatever one of those might be. Foxtrot, Ted Weems and his orchestra. So 1930s, I think that one is. Now I'm not really putting them in piles for any particular reason, just so I don't end up with one huge pile at the end. This Regal Zonophone, The Belle of the Blue Ridge, The Singing Mountaineers. I think I had some by the Singing Mountaineers. I'm not sure. But there we are. There's a Regal Zonophone. Now, Regal was Columbia's budget label. Zonophone was HMV's, or the gramophone company's, budget label. And when they came together as part of EMI, it joined as Regal Zonophone. Or at least that's what I understand. So this is probably going to be 30s, I'd say. It could be later. The Buggy Song. Also the Singing Mountaineers. Just an empty sleeve there. There's his Master's Voice children's record sleeve. They're not uncommon. I must have one or two. No record though. Nice sleeve. I mean, the actual record, Red Cells and the Sunset, Tab Hunter. That's a 50s record, I would say. And on the other side, Young Love. Yeah, I'm not that interested in that record. But the sleeve, that's actually pretty much the same as the other sleeve. Looks like a date, but that's actually a phone number, 1982. Brixton Exchange, 1982. Yeah. Right. So what do we got? We got another bit of cardboard. That's just another bit of cereal packet there. That's not very old. It's rather odd actually, as some of these records clearly, well, some of the bits of paperwork and stuff in here are obviously a little bit later. This is a Mars pen. This is very badly damaged. Mars pen record, my Irish Irish home, sweet home, and Celestina. Yeah, so that's a shame. Haven't got many of those. This one's also got a big crack in it. This is Old Airs Part 1. And this is Babyface by the Melody Makers. Again, big crack. Not sure if I can do anything with that. This is The Bell, which was a label of Edison Bell. Currents vocal duet and Spring Song, and that is that's okay. That's not broken, so that's nice. Here's another bell. This is actually, I think this is smaller. So let's get this other bell back first. Yeah, you can see that this bell is actually smaller, so I have to measure them. Let's get something to measure with. So that one there's not even 5.5 inches. Slightly under 5.5 inches. Oops. And this one here, that is 6 inches, that one. So that's got a nice little bell sleeve there, manufactured by Edison Bell Works. And that is actually a nursery rhyme record. Now, I can't really play nursery rhymes on YouTube because I don't want to have to mark anything as made for children or intended for children. So as a historical collectible, I will certainly keep this, but that's not something that I can, or that I'm going to be playing. In fact, I'll leave that out and put it away in a minute. And this here, this is a Mimosa, and again, whopping big crack. So it's a real shame. It's a real shame. These have been badly treated. Unfortunately, these cracks do look like they're old cracks. So Call on Mammy and Genevieve de Bryant or Brabant. I'm not pronouncing that right, I'm sure, but yeah, a real shame. They're not in great condition. So we've got a broadcast Misery. That's part of an opera. That's on broadcast 12, no sleeve, but the record's actually in reasonable condition. And I'm sure it's more of the same on the other side, Tales of Hoffman. So I don't think it's the same. I don't think it's the same opera on the other side, but it is actually, I think it's more of the same. So next out the box is another little one. This is another little The Bell. This is Who Killed Cock Robin Part 6, and it's Part 5 on that side. So that one's complete. That's quite nice. Again, it's a nursery rhyme, so I won't be playing it. Here's another little marzipan, but again, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's broken. Yeah, that's snapped all the way through. So unfortunately, this is London Bridges broken down, and Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and Hushabye Baby, and Tom Tom the Piper's Son. So yeah, I mean, nice little sleeve, nothing printed on it, but broken. So these, yeah, it's almost like somebody had a real go at these at some point. And yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to get that back in the packet there. Just a bit of plastic there. Just noticed the white on there. I did wonder if that's mould, but I think it might be mould, but it also might just be white paint or something. Not a big fan of mould at all, but these records don't really seem to be mouldy. So here's another marzipan. This is Jack and the Beanstalk. Big lump out of it, unfortunately. Yeah, so disappointing. Lots of little ones in here, but most of them in very poor condition. Who Killed Cock Robin Part 2. Yeah. A nice sleeve, so that seems to be complete. This is well, that's rather, I don't know what that means. I've got a Real Daddy Now, and on this side Agility. So that's xylophone. That is something else possibly. That might be xylophone too. Again, in this one of these little packets. So yeah, that's in pretty good condition. Quite nice to find. We've got an Edison Bell radio here. This is Colonel Bogey, Band of HM Scots Guards, and Entry of the Gladiators. I might have this one actually. That seems in reasonable condition. This is an Eclipse, the Chorus of Love. And on this side we have You and the Night and the Music. Another Edison Bell radio, In the Shadows, Harry Hudson's Melody Men. Harry Hudson's Melody Men. And Misery Farm, also by Harry Hudson's Melody Men. So yeah, they're in pretty good condition. That's quite nice. And then we've just got this sort of wad of records here. Let's yeah, big crack in that one. Doesn't look that interesting, to be honest. That one's okay though. In Italian with orchestra. So it's going to be a bit of opera presumably. And this one here is Fritz Kreisler. So this is violin. With piano. So that's relatively old. It's got no sort of run out groove here at all. So again, on that side there. And I didn't mention anything about the dates on the little ones. I mean, the little I think these I think are 1920s. I think these little ones, these are all sort of like 1920s. As I say, it's a real shame about the condition. They've been really banged up, and the things like these ones, these Edison bells and eclipses, these date from around about 1930 or so. So anyway, that is everything that's in this box. So yeah. Okay, so what do you think? Let me know in the comments, and if you've enjoyed this video, then you might like this one too. So thanks for watching, and I shall see you in the next one.